Remember part 1, the one where you met players named General Booty and D Coldest? Well, part 2 is here, and it's even more ridiculous in the best way. These aren't Madden create-a-player names. They're real athletes, with real talent and truly unreal names. From Sir Bible to Dude Person, let's get into the second round of the most wonderfully weird names in college football. Nitro Tugle, Purdue, wide receiver. When your name sounds like the main character in an action-packed racing video game, expectations skyrocket. Nitro Tugle, Purdue's explosive wide receiver, has a name built for speed. Originally from Indiana, this guy turns simple slants into full-on drag races down the sideline. Nitro might imply blazing pace, and he's certainly got wheels to match. And Tugle adds a bit of charm, making him sound like a beloved cartoon protagonist rather than someone torching secondaries every weekend. Nitro's real name is Jeremiah, but his parents gave him the nickname early, sensing he'd be burning defenders someday. He's tall, long, and lean, but what sets him apart is how coordinated and fluid he is in motion. He moves like a much smaller receiver, effortlessly changing direction and slipping tackles after the catch. Purdue fans already chant his name after every big catch, and opposing corners know if they miss the tackle, Tugle hits turbo. He might not literally have rocket boosters attached to his cleats, but with a name like Nitro Tugle, it's impossible to think he doesn't. Mobility, Rice University, wide receiver. Sometimes a name feels less like a name and more like a description. Rice receiver. Mobility embodies exactly that concept. Say his name fast enough, mobility, and it becomes clear, mobility. Ironically perfect for a receiver who specializes in quick cuts and elusive maneuvers after the catch. Hailing from Texas, Bility's game is all about agility and swift movements, juking defenders out of their cleats. It's like his parents planned the perfect football pun decades ago, foreseeing their son's destiny. When Mobility takes the field, announcers love emphasizing how much mobility he brings to Rice's offense, fully aware of the wordplay. Rice fans get to enjoy the playful chant, "We got mobility," every Saturday. With speed, agility, and a perfectly descriptive surname, Mobility is the kind of name college football was built for. Blazen Lono Wong, Arizona State defensive lineman. Blazen Lono Wong sounds more like a volcanic wave rider from Maui than a defensive lineman. Yet instead of carving up barrels, he's carving through offensive lines and pile-driving quarterbacks into the turf. An imposing defensive lineman at Arizona State. His first name, Blazen, suggests a fiery temperament and a relentless pursuit on the field. And indeed, Lono Wong lives up to that intensity, bull-rushing through offensive lines with ease. His double-barreled surname, Lono Wong, brings a Polynesian flavor, honoring family traditions while making him sound extra intimidating. His teammates have joked that with a name like Blazen, there was no way he could ever be anything less than an elite competitor. He plays with the kind of relentless aggression perfectly matched to his name, igniting the Arizona State defense and blazing a trail through blockers on every snap. Thunder Keck, Stanford. It's not often someone lives up to a name like Thunder Justice Keck, but somehow he outgrew even that. On the football field at Stanford, Thunder crashed into opponents like a seismic event, a special teams demon who earned his way into the starting lineup with raw effort, power, and relentless drive. But his story didn't end there. After college, Thunder did what only Thunder would do. He reinvented himself as a professional wrestler in the WWE, now performing under the name Shiloh Hill. Trained at the WWE Performance Center and mentored by none other than The Undertaker himself, Shiloh Hill traded shoulder pads for turnbuckles and became one of the most hyped up-and-coming stars in NXT. Whether he's leaping off the ropes or cutting promos, Hill brings that same grit and intensity that made him a fan favorite at Stanford. He even became the runner-up on WWE's LFG reality series, showcasing not just brute strength but charisma and heart. Shilique Sila, Purdue. Shilique Sila might have one of the most attention-grabbing names in college football, but he's spent 6 seasons making sure you remember it for the right reasons. Pronounced Shita, his name might raise an eyebrow at first, but once the game starts, it's his motor that grabs your full attention. Originally from Somerset, New Jersey, Sila started his college career at Boston College, where he spent 5 years as a consistent defensive force. Even in 2023, before a season-ending injury, he was making noise with 14 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks in just 8 games. After transferring to Purdue for his 6th year, Sila brought experience, size, and production. He played in all 12 games with 5 starts, posting 30 tackles, 5.5 TFLs, and a sack, proving he could thrive in the Big Ten just as well as the ACC. Standing 6 feet 4 and weighing around 253 pounds, Sila has the length and explosiveness scouts look for in an edge rusher. Dude Person, Central Arkansas defensive back. You may think I'm making this up, but I promise, there is actually a college football player named Dude Person. No, it's not a skit from a comedy show. No, it's not a placeholder name. Yes, someone really looked at a baby and said, let's name him Dude. It sounds like the setup to a bad joke. Hey dude, are you a person? Yeah, I'm Dude Person. He's a senior from Oxford, Mississippi. Dude stands 5'10", weighs in at 185 pounds, and wears number 18 for the Bears. On paper, his stats are modest. Tackles here and there, no interceptions or sacks yet. But on the field, he brings reliable coverage and veteran presence to the secondary. The name Dude makes him unforgettable, and it fits his laid-back but competitive vibe. It's the kind of name teammates love to shout, and opposing fans can't help but remember. Whether he's making a solid open field stop or just jogging onto the field, the stadium always seems a little more fun when Dude Person is involved. To me, it's one of the best and weirdest names. Memorable factor: Duke. Duke's memorable factor has a name that almost feels intentionally ironic. After all, his parents named him Memorable, and indeed, he's anything but forgettable on the football field. Playing at Duke, Factor stands out for far more than just his catchy name. He consistently makes big plays, ensuring announcers have plenty of opportunities to drop his unforgettable name on broadcasts. It's an announcer's dream, practically writing its own highlights. Factor's name perfectly suits a playmaker who lives for standout moments, whether snagging crucial interceptions, forcing fumbles, or delivering game-changing tackles. Every college football game has memorable factors, but Duke is literally counting on theirs. His presence ensures each Duke game is packed with irony, charm, and unforgettable highlights, making memorable factor impossible to overlook. Sir Bible, San Jose State University linebacker. San Jose State linebacker. Sir Bible doesn't just carry a unique name, he carries a noble title too, named Sir. At birth, Bible embraces a sense of leadership and authority on defense. He tackles with purpose and precision, embodying the strength implied by his biblical surname. It's a rare name that suggests dignity, seriousness, and moral authority, and Bible brings all those qualities onto the field. Teammates affectionately call him Sir, adding playful formality in practice sessions. Fans at San Jose State love hearing announcers declare Sir Bible with the sack, making each highlight feel like a knightly deed rather than just another football play. His name combines seriousness, respect, and an almost medieval charm. Demon Clowney, Louisville edge rusher. Demon Clowney might have one of the most intimidating names in college football history. Combining demon, suggesting pure menace, with the surname Clowney, already made famous by NFL star Jadeveon Clowney, creates a terrifying blend. Louisville's edge rusher lives up to the hype, terrorizing quarterbacks with raw aggression and relentless speed. His name alone is enough to put opponents on edge, imagining some unholy combination of power and fury bearing down on them. Clowney embraces the intimidation factor, thriving as one of the fiercest players in the ACC. Announcers delight in emphasizing his sinister-sounding first name during highlights, further cementing his reputation. At Louisville, Demon Clowney is turning the gridiron into his personal nightmare realm, making quarterbacks lose sleep over his demonic pass rush. Rocky Beers, Colorado State tight end. Colorado State tight end. Rocky Beers might have the most American-sounding football name possible. Rocky evokes toughness and resilience, while Beers sounds exactly like the kind of guy you'd want at your tailgate. True to his name, Rocky embodies rugged, blue-collar football, grinding out yards, absorbing hits, and bouncing back for more. It's the perfect name for a tough-minded player who seems built for physical play. Rams fans love chanting Rocky Beers, part cheer, part enthusiastic party invite. His presence transforms every Colorado State game into an atmosphere resembling a backyard cookout. Rocky Beers' name brings a smile to everyone who hears it, creating an instant fan favorite and college football folk hero. Legend Journey, California Golden Bears defensive lineman. Legend Journey sounds like a fantasy video game protagonist or a motivational speaker, not a 290-pound defensive lineman. And yet, for the California Golden Bears, Legend is a very real force in the trenches. His name sets an almost impossible standard. Legend implies greatness, Journey implies struggle, and he's living up to both. Recruited for his raw power and high motor, Legend dominates offensive lines with relentless drive and a mindset to match his mythic moniker. He plays like a man who knows he's walking a path towards something bigger, as if every down is another chapter in his story. Opponents hear the name and brace themselves. Announcers love it. Fans remember it. Whether it's a third down sack or goal line stand, Legend Journey is building a legacy, one stop at a time. Pooky Arterberry, Army running back. If you only heard the name, you'd think Pooky Arterberry was more likely to be your childhood best friend than a bruising Army running back. But underestimate him, and you'll pay for it in the gaps. At Army, Pooky is all business, gritty, disciplined, and deceptively powerful for his size. His name might sound sweet, but there's nothing soft about the way he runs. Pooky Pooky barrels through defenders with low pad level and a military-grade sense of duty. Teammates call him the silent steamroller. He's quiet off the field, but once he's got the rock, he's a freight train. Pooky might raise eyebrows, but it also raises hell on third and short. His name is a Trojan horse, friendly on the outside, deadly in the open field. Dayrealist Clark, Kent State wide receiver. Dayrealist Clark doesn't just have a name, he has a declaration. As a wide receiver for Kent State, his whole identity screams authenticity. There's no facade, no pretense, just a guy who comes down with catches in tight windows and makes secondaries look like amateurs. Dayrealist feels like a challenge and a promise, and Clark backs it up with his play. He's known for clutch catches and route running precision, and his confidence radiates with every snap. You don't name a kid Dayrealist unless you know he's destined to stand out, and that's exactly what Clark does. He might have one of the flashiest names in the MAC, but he earns it every time the ball's in the air. Grant Beerman, Illinois LB. With a name like Grant Beerman, you'd expect him to be on the keg, not the depth chart. As a linebacker for Illinois, Beerman brings the same kind of party-crashing energy to the gridiron. His name is just the right amount of wild. Beerman is funny, but Grant brings serious tackling chops and a nose for the ball. He's a high-motor player with a reputation for popping off the screen on tape. Opponents may laugh at the name during film review, but they stop laughing once he blitzes up the middle untouched. With every third down stop or red zone deflection, Beerman shows he's not just a punchline, he's a punisher. And yes, his NIL potential is practically limitless. Get this man a beer deal already. Chief Borders, UNLV defensive line. There's authority baked right into the name Chief Borders, like he's been calling the shots since birth. And that's not just a football nickname. As a baby with reddish hair, his mom nicknamed him the Little Red Indian. And with his dad working away from home, she said he was the chief of the house. Put that together, and the name Chief stuck, literally. Now he's 6 feet 4 inches, 245 pounds, and still very much in charge. In 2025, Borders brings his all-conference potential to UNLV after stops at Florida, Nebraska, and Pitt. He's seen it all. Power 5 speed, different schemes, and now a fresh chance to break out as the Rebels' top edge rusher. Wearing number 89, his job is simple: set the edge and collapse the pocket. If you're a quarterback thinking about testing his side, you better have a passport. Get it, cause he is Chief Borders. His stats at Pitt weren't flashy, but this Mountain West run could be his turning point. Chief doesn't just defend turf, he guards the border. And when you step across it without permission, don't be surprised when he sends you back where you came from. And that's it for part 2 of the most absurdly awesome name roster in college football. If your name wasn't on here, don't worry, we're probably saving you for part 3. If you're craving more and more stories like this, then the CFB Almanac is where you need to be. It's your ultimate guide to the wild world of college football. So please do us a favor and subscribe, like, and comment. It's the least you can do for us. Thank you.